Not to worry.
Hello, my name is Riley. You are watching GLoLady TV.
Guess what? It is now 4:30. So when you were talking earlier, Shannon, about we still had 2 minutes, no, we didn't.
Oh, we didn't.
We didn't because that was it's 4:30 now.
Okay. That was yours. 4:30 now?
And you are watching GLoLady TV. It's so nice to have you join us again. And there is a bunch of things, so I'm going to quick go down the list of Walmart. Oh! If I wasn't a lady, I'd give you the finger. It wasn't nice of me, was it? Yeah, I'm not even going to get into that at this moment because there's other things that I'm going to talk about. But Walmart, man, I'm telling you, you are on my crap list and you're right at the top. And I'm going to tell you what, I will not, I refuse. I don't care if you're going to save me money. I do not care if your stuff is cheap. Because if your stuff is cheap, that means that you're screwing somebody else. That's bottom line. So, okay, I'm done. Talking about Walmart. Oh, Fletcher Town Council. Those of you who remember Dr. Milton Bird is also going to be on WLOS. And he is going to be in front of the town council again on Monday, the 14th of March. And that is for a compassionate community. What is a compassionate community? Those who have a medical card in another state and they come into this state, that means that they can be charged with a crime. So that's what's going to be on Monday, the 14th. If you get a chance, you can go into, no? Okay. You can go into Fletcher, anybody who's able to. Whew, man, it's hot. Okay. Commissioners meeting, that's coming up on April 5th. We definitely want to hold them accountable, our First Amendment, holding them accountable. And you remember what Bush says? If you're not with us, you're against us. Well, guess what? Okay. There's a couple of things and I'm just going to go down real quickly. The Schedule 1, high potential for abuse. No currently accepted medical use in the U.S., lack of accepted safety for use in treatment under medical supervision. Now, that's what a Schedule 1 drug is. Okay, well, if there is no medical usage, then why does our government have a patent for patents, not a, 4 patents for medical cannabis? It really gets you. LEAP, law enforcement against prohibition. Did you also see that the DUI laws are getting harsher, harsher penalties? Why do we not hear anything about treatment? Why? If a person has a problem, well, how are they going to solve the problem? Oh, let's throw them in jail, and then government. We have way too much laws where the government is getting richer and richer and richer and richer and richer. And who runs the government but corporate? So we really have to be aware of what is going on. I don't think that was a call to action, and I'm not going to call you stupid, but they think you are. How's that? Okay. The 14th Amendment, deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process. Well, you know, we hear all this and we see all this, and people are on, you know, since the beginning of time, a spiritual journey. And we will continue to hopefully evolve as spiritual beings. And a part of that is using different substances in order to expand our awareness. So by depriving us of our life, liberty, and property, you know, what are they trying to do? New and deadly journeys to find self. The synthetic cannabinoids, K2, yeah. I wonder if it's because it interferes with the patent for the cannabinoids of our U.S. government. K2, that's the one that they just banned. It's a synthetic cannabinoid.
Right.
And that's...
And it's sold as what?
K2 on the packaging,
Yeah.
but it's a synthetic.
Okay.
So it's dangerous, yes.
And along with that, Lisa, I saw, this has been a month ago, there was a lady in Hendersonville whose son died from inhaling it.
Right, right. I mean, the people are going to use these things in order to expand their awareness. Is that the feedback of the sound? It might be one of the cords. I don't know. Some of the times it's one of the cords.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the cords is messed up. Okay, URTV shows. We've got some really great programming on URTV where you can really get educated on things that you will not hear, definitely not hear on mass media, like the Constitution. Have any of you been watching, you know, the constitutional laws? I mean, I found it really, really fascinating. It's a series of them, and I've been trying to catch them, and it's really a good, you know, teaching us our rights. You know, where are you going to hear that? You're not going to hear it on mass media. They don't want you to know. They want you to stay stupid. Alex Jones, Dixie. She had a Dixie Barkdoll. What's really going on in Western North Carolina? She had a gentleman who is suing the government. That's catch it. Well, it was, you know, it was on earlier today, so check it out. Hopefully you'll catch it again before next week's show. Okay, everybody's been talking about the earthquake. Now, how many years have I been talking to you about the earth changes and about the solar flares? And did you know that there have been 10 M-class flares in 48 hours? And then within another 48 hours, that's when the 7.2 earthquake happened in Japan. It's continuing. We also had 2 X-class flares in 1 month. And it's been 4 years since we had an X-class flare. Now we are going to be having some weather. Guess what? Watch out for even more weather. Yeah, because the coronial holes, the winds that have come out of the coronial holes are supposed to be hitting the Earth's magnetic field on the 13th. So we haven't seen anything yet. We really have to start understanding that there is a more spiritual, we ain't God, in other words. And it's coming, people. You know, how do you choose to see it? And our guest, Spiritsong. Wait a minute, that might be me. I'm sitting on it, and that might be me crackling it. I'm sitting on it.
We just found our crackler.
Yes, I am the crackler. I had it not really up my butt, but I was sitting on it. Oh well. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Richard Schulman, Dream of Camelot. If you saw that last week, it is this week. Tonight, tomorrow, I'm going to be filming, and then on Sunday. So you will get to see it if you can't go see it. and it's at the Masonic Temple, and that's right downtown here. And the Circle over on 426 Haywood Road in West Asheville. Tomorrow is Saturday and Sunday. I will be there both days. Tomorrow, the North Carolina Cannabis Patients Network is going to be there and to answer all of your questions. And then they also have an art show tomorrow night. And then Sunday, I will be there and I will be reading. I enjoy reading tarot. And that's kind of not really like the I Ching, but it's one of those divination type of. And I have a passion for it. So Saturday, Sunday, come on out to the Circle. Oh.
If I can say I'll be at the Circle.
Oh, okay. Cool. Shannon, would you come and see me at the Circle?
Certainly.
Cool. And KMB, that's my initials for Kelly M. Beard. Kelly M. Beard, man. We love you, and we can't wait to see you next week, because next week it's going to be Shannon's birthday. So we're really going to have a good birthday party. So since we're ending it on a high note in comparison to the low note from Walmart to begin with, I thought I shut that off. You know, Mary O'Shannon, who is also goes by Spiritsong, she was just asking me. Well, she turned off her phone, and she said about, do any guest phones ring? And well, guess what? I guess you found out, didn't you? So you want to switch us over to camera 1, Jeffrey, so we can woohoo! This is Mary O'Shannon. And I knew that I knew that these two would get along. It's not really just because, Shannon and O'Shannon. Oh, is that like crap and oh crap? I better be a good girl today. I don't know what it was that got into me, but yeah. What'd you say? Woody Woodpecker? Is that what you said?
Liquor.
Itching guy? Liquor? No.
I want to say something before we get going.
Okay.
And how bright-eyed you look
Oh,
today.
you like me with makeup on better?
You're so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and you have just a little bit on. You never overdo it.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, by the time I get here, it's like it's melted off.
But I guess the detox is over. We have to share that with you.
Yes.
You told
yes.
our guests
yes.
last week that
Yeah.
you're gonna...
See my eyes, and I really did see a difference in not wearing makeup. I do have to admit. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a whole lot on, but I think my circles actually, don't look as deep.
Are you wanting the fan?
Am I doing what?
Are you want the fan?
Do I want the fan? Oh, are you going to stand there and fan us? Yeah.
That I Ching guy's a nice guy, isn't he?
We have the I Ching guy and Jeffrey DeCristofaro in the control room. Woohoo! Yeah, bring out that fan. I guess it is getting to be that time of the year, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. We're going to have a beautiful weekend, too.
Is it?
Well, it makes you just so thankful with everything that's going on right now.
Oh, yes.
Several times today.
Oh, yes.
I had to say, we are so fortunate right now.
We are.
Yeah.
Well, why do you think we're here?
I hope to make a difference.
Yes. But, I mean, we are blessed where we live. Not saying that we aren't going to, have our share of challenges. But it's hopefully we will understand and we will prepare for what is coming. I mean, I would not want to live in a big city.
Speaking
Not
of
even.
preparing, it was something very interesting today when, the President of the United States,
Oh, well, see, I haven't been home,
Okay,
so
well, he
I
spoke, and
didn't
it was-
really.
as usual, when he speaks, I'm just enthralled because I just embrace him.
Okay.
And but one of the things he said was, I had heard earlier that, along the coast of California, they
Right.
had, of course,
The tsunami.
yes, they had the tsunami coming, so it was mandatory to stay off the beaches.
Right.
And then, but there's webcams everywhere, and you can go on them. I mean, you can go to
cool,
cities, and
really?
and so I had gone on a couple, and I
Uh-huh.
had seen people still on the
Beach.
And then there was this one particular man that was walking a dog right before the waves were about to come, and I'm thinking to myself, what is wrong with you? I mean, you know he knew it. There's signs up
Right.
everywhere. And it really bothered me. It really bothered me.
You wouldn't care about him, but the dog.
Dog, yeah, you know how I'm about animals. But yeah, but I was thinking, why do we do that? And then the president actually addressed that.
Oh, did he?
Yes, he did in his speech. And I can't remember exactly his verbiage, but he said, when we put up mandatory evacuation, please do not ignore it. And we see that happen all the time, and it's just like it makes so much sense to not ignore it. But why do people?
Well, I think I heard him say, "Do as you're told."
Do as you're told.
Well,
Yeah.
well, there again, I'm kind of like a little, oh, what are you going to do? Arrest me when you declare martial law too?
It was for whenever there's a mandatory.
For our benefit,
yeah.
But I mean, we are going to have martial law at some point before we get through these earth changes. I mean, that's my prediction.
And that may...
Thank you.
Yeah,
You're going to learn that you've got to jump in.
It may
here,
very
Marie.
well happen that way, but I also believe that we who are awake and aware of what is going on, that our true power is not that it's not all right to be, educating ourselves, to know what's going on, to see the dark side, but our true power is in holding the light. Because whatever we're giving attention to, we are expanding. It is increasing its energy. It feeds, we feed whatever we are giving our attention to. And so I don't know if you ladies have felt a shift in the last month. February 11th was a very auspicious day, a new wave coming in. And this last month I've experienced states of consciousness repeatedly that are just blowing me away. And we are here, in spite of all the chaos, what's happening in the government, what is happening with the earth right now. It is all in divine order, and it is all part of the shift that we are experiencing. We are shifting from one 26,000-year epoch to another. Think of that. I mean, there are shorter time frames, of course, where shifts are occurring too. But we chose to be here now. And I believe that what we can do that makes the most difference, not that it's wrong to take action if you feel strongly about a political situation, but the strongest power we have is love. Amen. I believe that love, amping that love up within us, accepting the grace that is now pouring out for all of us as we make this shift, the more we do that, the more we are affecting the change that we want to see, the more we are empowering ourselves, everyone who's around us, and the whole shift that is taking place.
You're right, we need to accept it, and then I think we should then send it out.
Absolutely. And I was sharing earlier that I would love to do that in this space for those who are listening, because experiencing that love, that grace for ourselves, letting it flow into us is part of it. And the other part of it is letting it flow back out consciously, flowing it back out to help heal the world, to help heal those who are suffering.
And there's going to be a lot of people that are suffering.
Absolutely.
Not understanding or living in the spiritual realm of.
Yes.
So people, get ready. And there again, you go as Spiritsong, or you want to explain that before we get started there?
Well,
you are such a fascinating woman.
Yes, it is interesting. I mean, my given name is Mary, my birth name is Mary, and a number of years ago, I guess it's been 7 years ago now, when my former husband Benjamin Bernstein and I came together, he was a full-time singer-songwriter, And he quickly found that I was a musician as well, that I had natural harmony, that, you know, my voice blended well with his. And he said, do you have any other name? And I said, well, the only other name I've ever known for myself is one that came through channeled writing. And he said, what is it? And I said, it's Spiritsong. He said, well, that's perfect. So from that time on, though, not only did he use it for us as my stage name, he never called me anything else. For him, the vibration of that name was who I was. And then as time went along, and he became, you know, he's helped me with the business part of my marketing and my brochures and all of that. He always encouraged me to use the name Spiritsong. And after we came apart, and we are still, you know, we're best friends, and we still work together and love each other very much. But when we were separating, and I was going to live on my own, and it was a new chapter in my life, my youngest daughter was leaving home. I had an empty nest. I was moving. You know, many changes were taking place. And I said, Spirit, should I change and go back to my given name and just use the name Mary O'Shannon? Please help me with this. Let me know. Help me understand. And a couple of days later, I went to the Sunday morning Sweat Your Prayers, the Gabriel Roth 5-wave dance. Don't go very often. And I was there, and at the end, you know, the 5-wave it builds. The first wave is very slow and quiet, and you're on or near the floor, and the dances progress to a higher and higher beat and frequency, and the dancing is more energetic. And then the waves come back down at the end, and you're laying on the floor or sitting or whatever's comfortable. I was lying on the floor, and I had this sense of a presence above me. And then someone was kissing my face and kissing my head and just showering me with love. And I opened my eyes, and it was this beautiful woman I had never seen before. And she just continued to shower me with love. And so when it was over, I went to her and I hugged her and thanked her. And she gave me a message. And the message was this. She said, she was a psychic. I didn't know it. I came today because they said you would be here. And she said, Spiritsong, you are Spiritsong. You are Spirit's song. Do you understand? Your Spiritsong. Cool. And so there was my answer, you know, and I couldn't be more, you know, Spirit couldn't have been more clear. And so since then, I've been much more comfortable in using that name. I also have done some work like Benjamin with the Pachacuti Mesa tradition, the indigenous Quero tribes in the Andes Mountains in Peru. And the first time I met Oscar, who's the head of Heart of the Healer, you introduce yourself, and I said, I'm Mary O'Shannon, also known as Spiritsong. And so he then goes into a little, he connects with Spirit, and he's just talking away in Spanish, you know, and I have no idea what he's saying. And then he stops in front of me and he says, you are Spiritsong, aka, which I don't know Spanish, but must be AKA, aka, known as Mary O'Shannon. So I've had two different confirmations.
Wow.
Yes. So
that is so
that's
cool.
what that's about.
And for people out there, I mean, you too can, you know, connect with the divine. It's really not hard.
Oh, absolutely. And in this time of change, as the vibration, the frequencies are getting stronger and stronger,
Right.
it is so instant when we ask for something. We have to watch our thoughts, our words, our emotions. We are creating all the time. So doing that in a very conscious way. And all we have to do is ask, and it's given.
Ask and you shall receive.
It doesn't matter who you are, how much time you've spent doing spiritual work. the energies that are coming in now, all we have to do is be receptive, be aware, believe, try it.
Try it.
You know,
That's
and,
a big part of.
and allow it.
Because I'll tell you what, it's like, I mean, that's one way to live that happy, joyous, and free, by just turning it over to a power that's greater and stopping the control of this is the way I want it to be, because you're going to drive yourself crazy and miserable if you don't just accept.
Right, and realizing that that power that is greater is actually flowing through us. It's also who we are. We are sparks of the divine. We are made out of the same stuff. We are who we are, and what we're coming to understand is we are that light that we were before we took this body. We are that light that we are in this body, that light of love. And we are that light that will be when we drop the body. And that's who we really are, and that's what this is all about as we step into our luminous body, as we, you know, connect with our light bodies or move into the other dimensions, or however you want to phrase it. It's just like the turning of the ages in the Mayan calendar. December 21st, 2012 has been targeted as the time. But I've been reading, you know, there are other scholars, others who have studied, who say it's October 28th, 2011.
Right.
We were talking about an auspicious day before February 11th. We are in another energy portal day, an ascension day today. Can you feel that? How
big
powerful
time.
it is.
Big
and
time.
that's why I really would like to take a few minutes, if we could, if
Oh,
you would
most
allow
definitely.
that.
Yes.
And I invite those who are listening to join us. And part of what I do as a healing facilitator is guided imagery and meditation, and that's just part of what I do in my healing work. And I'd like for us all to join together, because we are powerful to direct our energy on a singular basis wherever we are at any time. But when we join together, the
Amen to that.
potential that we have to affect healing is exponentially increased. And so as we enter into this time, make yourself comfortable. Take a few deep breaths.
Do we want to put our hands so that people can see?
Sure, mine are on my lap.
Yeah, but just so that
you
people can see. I mean,
sure, you can have your hands in this receptive position,
Okay.
or whatever is comfortable for you. And take a few deep breaths and just allow yourself to connect with your breath for a moment, watching the breath coming in and out. Just being the observer. And noticing any tension that's in your body anywhere. Anything that feels stuck, any pain, any discomfort. And as you breathe, taking in that breath, realizing that breath, that inspiration, that gift of life comes from the divine through us. Allow the breath to come in now and to connect with any place where you feel any tightness or tension. Relaxing every part of your body, allowing the breath to come in and flow up into your head, out into your shoulders, down into your arms, down into the trunk of your body, through the pelvic area, into your legs, flowing down through the legs, into the feet, flowing down into the earth to connect with Pachamama, the Earth Mother, who loves us so much. Grounding us, feeling that energy streaming into the earth and back up from the earth. Through our bodies, up through the spine, out through the chakras, through the hands, through the head, the crown chakra connecting with the divine realms, the celestial realms, taking in the energy of love, the creative force that is there, and breathing it in now to the heart space in the center of your chest. Breathe that beautiful light of love. Realize we are being surrounded, we are surrounded all the time, and we are in this circle of light, surrounded by our angels, our guides, those beloved ascended masters, our animal friends, the totems who are here to help us. And whoever yours are, call them in. Whoever your personal divine is, call them in. Brother Yeshua, Kuan Yin, Amma, Bhagavan. I call Oya and Oya Saray, personal guides of mine, to join with yours as you drink in this beautiful healing light into your love space, breathing it in with every breath and breathing it out with every breath, filling yourself with that divine light, allowing anything that needs to be released, allowing anything that needs to be embraced, to be embraced. And now in this beautiful space of light and love, begin now to see, to feel that beautiful energy flowing out from your heart space, from your whole being, to touch everything in the room around you, any people who are with you there. We truly are all one, allowing that breath now to flow out from the room where you are, below, above, out into this city, sending that light of love to bathe the city of Asheville and every person who is here in that beautiful light, knowing that everyone is being healed as that light is flowing through and around them, and out over this beautiful country of ours, with all its beauty and its imperfection, knowing healing is taking place as this light flows out from the center of light within us, connecting to every being in this country, touching all of the land, the waters, all of the creatures in the waters, healing them as it does, flowing out into the realms of outer space, crossing now the oceans, going across the waters of the sea to the other countries around the world. And we especially send this light of love to those beings who are now in the middle of this earthquake in Japan, who have lost those who they love. Those who have been sprung free from their bodies are free. Those who are left behind are left with the pain of letting go of those beings. And as difficult as it is to conceive, it is all in divine order. It is all part of the shift that is taking place. And we all come with our agreements, and those who have gone on are in a perfect place for them now. And we who are here are in our perfect place to hold the light, to send the love. And we do, bathing every being with this beautiful light inside and out. May they be filled with peace that is beyond any understanding. May they know that somehow in this chaos there is divine love flowing to them, through them, and that all is well in spite of how it looks. May their hearts be comforted. Those around the world who are part of the revolution that is taking place, as those who have been oppressed will not be oppressed anymore. As we embrace that we were all meant to be free, that we were all meant to have what we need. As the old order crumbles away, may we know that in the chaos of that there is divine perfection, and that we will see, we will know, we are moving into that time when we understand that we all are one. We are here to be beings of light and love for no other purpose. Yes, we all have different roles to play in that. But bottom line, what are we here for? We are here to be love, to be loved, to express love as divine beings in human bodies. And so we feel our oneness with those everywhere. I encourage people to know what's going on, to be aware, but do not become obsessed with what is happening and caught up in the anxiety. It is our place to hold the light so that those who are living in that place of fear in a natural way as they experience what's going on can be assisted by us as we hold that light and we send from this place in this moment in time light of love. You may see colors as you think of that light and see it. Rainbow colors, all different colors. That's perfect. You may hear different sounds that resonate with different experiences that people are having. Whatever you hear, whatever you see, it is perfect. And as we send that light out, that love out, and know that it is healing, we receive it back. We thank those beings who are here with us. We bless you and honor you as you have blessed and honored us with your presence as we have sent this love out. And know that what you're experiencing right now, those of you who are joining us here, you can create this energy of love and healing any moment of the day, anytime you feel yourself being caught in all of the drama as it's going on, whether it's in your world, your personal environment, or what's happening around the world. Take a moment, remember who you are. I am that I am. I am that light that I was before I took this body. I am that light that I am in this body. I am that light that I always will be. And from that place, I send you blessings and gratitude for joining with us in this moment in time. Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
That was like,
Yes.
that was good. And it put things, I guess you can see I'm a little bit calmer now. And it put it really back into perspective.
Yes.
You know, not to give up the faith, the hope, the love.
No.
Even though people are mean and negative and all that kind of good stuff, that's not what life is all about. I mean, life is meant to be kind and loving and you know, as they say, you turn the other cheek, and that's working with the energy. It's not absorbing the negativity into you and passing it out to someone else. It's you know, yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you. That was
Yes, thank you for joining me in that.
That felt good. That really
A
did.
couple things came to my mind when you were talking, and one was that we are, the people that are left, we are like candles, and we should keep that flame burning.
Yes, absolutely.
Internally, externally,
Right.
whatever we need to
Right.
do.
Right.
Right.
And also, another vision I had during that was first time I've ever saw this comparison, that we are like leaves on a tree, and when it's time for a leaf to leave, we can't stop that. We shouldn't
Beautiful.
question it.
Yes, absolutely.
Because
It's part of the cycle.
it's part of the cycle, right?
Right.
And it's when it's time for our leaf to leave, then we need to go, because
Right.
we'll be where we need to be then.
And that's what we don't, I mean, so often we focus on our loss and our pain instead of rejoicing that there is another
Right.
realm that we can,
Can go to.
Yeah.
So
we are
true.
going to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as these shifts and changes are occurring, and we see the chaos, and we see the governments in other places that are crumbling, and we know that what is wrong in our government, what is not working, has to crumble in
Correct.
order for the new
be transformed.
to
That's
occur.
true. That's true.
I encourage us not to be in fear, to make our voices heard in a loving way, however we can, remembering the greatest power is love. And yes, speak up and do what we can from that base, that power of love to help assist it, but also to remember that beyond the actions that we're taking of speaking up or whatever it is, sending that love out, what we just did, as often as you can. And whatever you see going on that you don't like, if you can summon that power, if it evokes some anger, if it evokes some fear or whatever, recognize that's natural. And remember that who we are as beings of light, we have power to diffuse the darkness, to dispel the darkness. I mean, imagine, you're in a dark room, someone comes in with a little candle, what happens?
It illuminates it.
The room is filled with darkness,
Well,
but one little candle,
Right.
and
make a difference.
with a lot of us doing that, the more
Right.
of us who are doing that, I believe there are avatars on the earth right now. Have you heard of the oneness movement, the oneness blessings or Diksha?
No, I
I think
haven't.
so.
There are twin avatars in India right now, Bhagavan and Amma,
Okay.
who have come, their sole purpose, like Jesus was to show the way,
Right.
like Buddha, like
Right, spiritual
many other
masters.
avatars who came at pivotal points in the evolution of spiritual evolution of mankind, humankind, womankind, all of us, to assist us, to direct us, to allow us to evolve into a higher understanding on a spiritual level. And right now in India, there are beautiful twin avatars who are Bhagavan and Amma, whose sole purpose, who came in as children. Bhagavan at 3 was sitting for hours meditating. He wasn't playing.
Wow.
He was sitting and holding the light,
Right.
and received this golden globe of light that he received into himself, that he was aware that he was here to help humanity.
Right.
Amma as well. And together, they created in India this Oneness University, it's called, a temple that covers many square miles, if I'm remembering correctly. It's massive. Maybe it's many square blocks. That sounds like a huge,
Right.
but I haven't been there, but I've seen pictures of it. But they are radiant beings, and they are here to assist us in raising our vibration. And the oneness blessings, they are teaching, grace is being given for this time to help us lift our vibration to that higher level that we all need to have to move into this new time. And oneness blessings, the blessing is received and given through the hands or through the eyes. It's received, blessing givers hold their hands above your head, receiving the grace, and then very consciously giving the grace
And then,
through hands on head. Where people are gathering all over the world, people are doing this.
so it's
In Asheville, if you Google, can I say this?
You can search the internet.
You can search the internet for Oneness Blessings or Diksha, Deeksha.
Christopher, or I mean Jeffrey, could you put this in? Yeah, don't put the .com or the org or.
It's just Oneness Blessings,
Right.
Asheville.
Oneness, O-N.
And I think it's
N-E-S-S?
I'm sorry?
Is that how it's spelled? O-N-E-N-E-S-S?
Oneness
All one word?
Blessing.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if that's singular or plural, blessing or blessings.
Okay.
It should
Well,
come.
But you could search for Oneness
yeah.
Blessings Asheville, and you will get the primary website that shows all the different locations every night of the week. This is happening where people are
Really?
gathering together,
Right.
sharing this transfer of blessing that is assisting us in
Right.
raising our energy, in raising our vibration of love to help awaken. We are all awakening. We are all coming to a realization that we are all one. There is really, it's an illusion that there is you
That
and
there's
there is me.
separateness. Yeah.
Everything we are touches everything and everyone else. And so there is an awakening process going on in all of us. And those of us who are aware of that and focusing energy and time into allowing ourselves to awaken more fully are accelerated in our awakening. And so that's a very beautiful thing that I'm so touched and blessed to be a part of, and encourage those who feel any curiosity to check it out and see. Amma and Bhagavan say we are not the way, like we are not the
it's
new
not
ones
of
who
me,
have
it's
arrived.
through
Everybody
me.
should. They say, go through your personal divine. If it's Lord Krishna, if it's Lord Jesus, if it's
Right.
Lord Buddha,
Right.
if it's a certain angel or whatever it is, go through your personal divine or come through us.
Right.
Because they are
Right.
there to hold that energy. And
Right.
when I receive Diksha from them, I see the light in their eyes. I know it is the light of them, of Brother Yeshua, of Kuan Yin, of Buddha, of Krishna, of
spiritual
all those who
masters.
have come to show us the way.
Right.
And they hold that energy, and they are holding that light for us and assisting us in the process. And it is so beautiful. We are so blessed to be here now. We are so blessed.
I definitely feel that. I definitely feel that. I mean,
Yes.
life is not dull and boring. It never was, and it's going to continue to be exciting.
And those of us who are here and choosing to awaken have agreed to play a part in that process for all of us.
And it's people like you that come along who remind me that, Lisa, you're going at it the wrong way sometimes, and
To grab onto the positive and
Yeah,
hold it
more
close
the
to your heart.
positive.
Yes.
I mean, the positive and holding it close, but it's also, what can I do? I know that we need change, and
Right.
how can I be an instrument for that change?
Right.
How can I do it? Because it's like, living with and allowing, others' negativity to come off on, and instead of practicing what I preach all the time, I wish you well.
Yes, absolutely. And that gesture you just did, you can actually do that. I've done this for many years. If I see an accident somewhere, I mean, if I'm driving, I
Right,
don't, but
right.
any way that I can just send that energy of love and light to those who are suffering and knowing, but you can do it anytime, eyes open, eyes closed,
Right,
whatever,
right.
just with your thoughts and your intention of blessing those who are suffering anywhere for any reason.
And that I try to do. I was just
Yeah.
riding with somebody and I can't remember what their comment was, and mine, it's like I always pray, angels, God, Goddess, bless them in their, if they're just broke down alongside the road.
Right.
And I can't stop, I will at least say a prayer for help for them.
Right. Yeah, that's beautiful. And it's good, I think, Lisa, you know, when you're taking action to help create change.
Right.
Some people are called to that more than others. I just think the secret to making it most effective is to remember that if it's powered by love, and if the energy that's going out with whatever you're trying to affect change with is love rather than anger, you are billions of times more powerful, I think, in affecting the change. Not that anger doesn't have a place, but you know what I'm saying. If they're in
your rage into outrage, as Kelly Beard says.
Yes, and into
to do something about it, not just to, you know, okay, I'm going to sit and steam over something that I did not like, rather than to use that to make a difference, you know, to change. And I really appreciate you coming on today. I mean, I totally live divine, and you came at a really good point in my life, you know, to put me back, you know, not on the ground, but to understand,
And in my work, you know, my business is Spiritsong Oasis, and I try to create an oasis of, you know, when you think of the oasis, it's that place of refuge or remembering the, you know, who we are, the peace, the whatever the oasis would be. Carrying that with me. And, you know, at one time I wanted to create a particular, a special place that people could come, and that was their oasis. And I realized through events that came along that I am the oasis, and we all are, if we choose to be that. And my husband, former husband, and I, Benjamin, are still business partners. You've had him here before. The business name is It's All Good Astrology, because that's what we believe. It doesn't matter what we're seeing around us, what it looks like. In the process, you realize the phoenix rising out of the ashes, there have to be ashes. For us to be like the snake shedding its skin, we have to work to shed the skin. To be like the butterfly rising out of the cocoon, there is work to do that, and it's all good, and it's all perfect, and it's happening beautifully.
In this moment, there is only love.
Only love.
Yeah. And it's remembering that, especially when we go through periods of times like this, instead of looking at it as a human being, to look at it more as a spiritual being. And it is a part of. And death is not the end of. It's just the beginning of a whole new, you know, a whole new evolution.
It's birth and rebirth, you know, death and rebirth, however you want to look at it. There is no end. It's circular. You know, it's.
And what are you coming back as the next time?
Oh, I don't know. When do you want me to come back? I've definitely enjoyed being here, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity to share.
Cool.
Because my heart is just overflowing with love
well,
and joy
we will
at what is
definitely
happening.
need to do more of this for the next season. We will be starting our 8th season in April. We still don't know exactly
Congratulations.
what time. Yeah, I mean that's an accomplishment.
It is indeed.
Yeah,
and I know it's hard work. I know you do much behind the scenes
Yeah.
to make it happen.
Yeah. And then I get out here and cool off. Oh, that's right. It was the I Ching Guys fan. Yeah. I mean, people watching, they really don't know how wild and crazy it gets around here.
Well, sometimes they get a little.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
but it's
true.
It's, you know, it's all good. I mean, we have this opportunity to speak. It's wonderful
to be a light out there, because I mean, you're not going to get this on mass media.
You're not going to get it on mass media.
No, because that's where their focus is: the negative, the fear, the you know, the control of, and
That's what gets people to watch and listen, unfortunately.
But if it gets us to watch and listen, then we can always turn that around and send out the
Absolutely.
love.
I know people who will not watch television. They don't want to know what's
I've
going
heard
on
a lot of
because
people
they don't
say,
want
right, all that
they
negative.
don't read the
right.
papers. They don't watch
Right.
TV, and I bless them and honor them for where they are. They're doing what's perfect for them.
Right.
For me, I feel like I'm a global citizen. I'm a world citizen, and I want to know what my brothers and sisters in other places are experiencing. I want to know what's
Right.
going on. I don't dwell on it. I don't spend hours and hours of time finding out,
Right.
But the purpose in that is,
To send them the
to be
love.
able to send energy and love to those places that need
Right.
it.
Now, do you study, or have you studied Edgar Cayce at all?
Not a lot. I'm aware of his work and have great respect for it.
Okay.
but yes.
Did you hear anything about, the times that we're in? One of the signs would be that Japan would go down under. That was part of his
I wasn't aware that that was part of his prophecy.
Yeah, that was a symbolic symbol. Now,
Right.
when we have these predictions or the prophecies, and then trying to predict out of it, what we see, can be interpreted differently.
Right.
So this could mean that we are, going very quickly too.
Right. We are accelerating right
big time.
now. And
Big time.
astrologically, I'm an astrologer, so astrologically, one of the things that is powerful today, this day, Uranus is shifting from the sign of Pisces to the sign of Aries. Pisces rules waters. Aries is new initiation, it's fire, but Uranus is about sudden and unexpected change.
Right.
It's really a time where we have to constantly remember
That we are
this is all
spirit.
good. This is happening for a reason. And the end result is going to be, you know what the Mayans call the new age?
What's that?
They call it the age of flowers.
Whoa.
Is that not beautiful? I mean,
Oh,
just
big
think of it.
time.
I think of all the flowers in a huge field or a garden and how each one is distinct and beautiful. It has its own fragrance. And we're, coming into this beautiful time when we understand our differences are not to separate us, but to allow us to appreciate the beauty of who
And
each
making sure
yes.
that you do stop to smell the flowers. Jonathan has some daffodils out on the desk, and I couldn't believe that they really have a good scent to them. And then I was over at the store, and they had some hyacinths sitting there, and I love hyacinths.
too.
And I mean, spring is my favorite time of the year.
Yeah.
It's
And it's here.
Yeah, Spiritsong, thank
Yes.
you so much.
I'm so grateful to be here.
Thank you. Because
grateful that you're here.
I'm going to be selfish and say I really needed that.
You
too?
Yes, I did, especially
Yeah.
today with,
Right,
with
right.
what is
With
going
what's been
on.
going
and-
on. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It put things into
And it
more
kind of
perspective.
puts it into perspective that we realize we are coming together. We
Yes.
really
Yes.
are.
Yes.
And we can make a difference.
Out of tragedy, people come together in love.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can and believe that the more we're aware of it and doing it, the more we assist it to be a gentler process, to happen more quickly, without any more chaos than it has to have to
Because
happen.
the chaos is already there.
Oh, yeah.
So we
Yeah.
need to go
Yeah.
at a different, with a different gesture from our heart altogether.
Yeah.
Well, remembering that it
Absolutely.
is a part of the plan, and as long as we don't play God of our lives, then it's going to be a little bit easier. But we are so, and I can't quite remember, and we're getting down to low on time. But the materialistic. I mean, we can look at all the parables of the different religions and no other God before me, and look at how society today is the materialistic society. And it's like, if I have this, I'll be happy. If I have that, I'll be happy. If I have, no matter how many toys and things that we get, we aren't going to be happy because it's in. And it's
Right,
remembering
absolutely.
that we
It-
are spiritual
It's
beings.
not the tangible things, it's
Yes.
the intangible that
Yes.
lasts. Everything else
Yes.
fades away. So
Yeah. Well, you look at with Auschwitz, and they were saying about, how did you survive it? And it was the mind.
Right.
A big part of it was the mind. Okay, guys, I'm not hearing the sound. Are we? Is there sound in the? We're off.
Hello, Asheville and beyond. How is everyone doing today, the first day that Uranus permanently hits Aries? And we have some very, very big news, so I have to address this first. It is Friday, the 11th of March, 2011, and yes, Uranus hit Aries for the first time in 84 years. Well, I guess we got a little taste of it last year. It sat at 0 Aries from May 27th, I think, to August 13th, if I remember correctly, and that was a little introduction. So if you can think back to some of the big worldly events, there's probably something on par with the recent earthquake and tsunami that we woke up to today. So as an empath, I felt a lot of energy and had to process this myself. So, of course, the first thing is the serenity prayer, to just get centered real quick so that I can receive any kind of guidance from Spirit, and that is, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That's the big piece. So as I sat with it for a minute and asked Spirit to guide me and help me process the feelings I was feeling, some of you in the Power Circle absolutely know that we work with a book all the time called Sunlight on Water, which is a channeled book from Flo Magdalena, who has a website called soulsupportsystems.org. And it's a really fantastic book to hold on to. It is a channeled work, as I said, so it's very interesting guidance for moving through the shift, the time that we live in, this monumental shifting period of history for the planet Earth. I mean, it's so much bigger than us. And this week alone, I was working on the Uranus moving into Aries and how to make it personal, and then it got real personal today. So I asked for guidance. I held the book open to any page, and I opened to what's called the Bridge of Light. So for those of you that are processing this in whatever way, shape, and form that you're in process, sitting with the worldly events that we didn't used to know every world event that happened, and now we know them all. And so there has to be a mechanism or a practice or some kind of understanding, in addition to the serenity prayer, to move through these really, really tough times, because humans are connected. We are all one. We are naturally compassionate. I think that compassion has been worked out of our systems unnaturally, but our natural instinct is to feel for our brethren. And I just asked Spirit for some guidance for myself, and it seems really, really good to share, because I'm also getting lots of emails and inquiries about how to really process this energy and understand these big shifts when we know that thousands and thousands of souls are leaving the planet at one time, and that's a little bigger than the average human can even wrap their brain around. So I hope that you accept this in the manner it is intended, which is to give you some guidance, give you some tools maybe, plant some seeds where you can come up with your own practice that works for your heart and soul as you move through processing, because certainly, my day has not been physically disrupted like that. So it's challenging, I think, at least for my brain, it's challenging to reconcile such big shifts when I have such seemingly insignificant concerns of the day. So the Bridge of Light really, really helped me, and I hope it will help you, and I promise this is sort of an opening prayer, and then we will get to the astrological weather of the next week, because let me tell you, the ball is rolling. And by the end of this month, there's going to be even bigger shifts happening, and it is going to be kind of back-to-back. So we want to do as much as we can to keep our center and to be in our own space and working with what is right in front of us, okay, and not giving in to that overwhelm of feeling the world pain, okay? That's a very big process. And I believe in my heart of hearts that there is a plan and there is divine order in every piece of it, even though I don't understand it, even though I don't know the big picture that Spirit has in store for this particular planet. So let me share this, and I hope you receive it well. It's slightly long, but not too long that will exceed our time to get through some other things. So this is the Bridge of Light, and as I said, it's a channeled work from Flo Magdalena, and she's speaking from a time in the early 90s. So they spoke on some time, but we're going to skip that piece because we understand there is no time in God, and we're all here in this moment, breathing. So let's everyone take a deep breath to receive this. You obviously use your heart to discern what is for you and what is not for you. Take the pieces that work and release the rest. It may not be time. It may not be your thing. It may not help you at this period. And you may be in your own kind of shift and not able to fully process the bigger things going on. But I had to start here, so let's roll together. Because we have been gathering our forces for many days. This is one of those moments in history that will be recorded in your hearts and in the wisdom of that innermost part of you that remembers and cherishes what we call union. You are standing in history at a very important moment, because when you cross the line of linear time, and you can define those dates any way you see fit. We had the Mayan ninth wave come in this week. We had a lot of energy and lots of dates to play with right now. So as we cross the line of linear time, you will experience the aspects of yourself in union, perhaps in your memory for the first time, physically. This is going to happen to all of you at the same moment, and this is the miracle. All of you are entering the kingdom at the same time. No one is ahead of anyone else, because all of you are exactly the same, exactly equal, exactly recognizing that you are in oneness. The key to the new time is the recognition of oneness. You will now work from the core of your being. Look with your eyes and wonder. From a child's perspective, look at what is and say, why not? There are no structures now that can hold their form from a linear point of Pisces authority. And as you are observing the moments of time that now accelerate, you say, quote, nothing is the same. There is no place within me where I can rest anymore. There is no place within me where there is strength anymore, unless it comes from my core, end quote. Everything in your outer parameter is shifting. There is nothing to hold on to. You may feel more alone than ever, but also understand that you are less alone than ever, because many of you are consolidating in exactly the same way, at exactly the same time, in exactly the same moments. As you go forward, there is opportunity to join together in a way that you have never joined together before, because fundamentally, you have the same core. That is why you remember the light, and that is why you remember the oneness, because you have the same core. We were having dinner with Jane tonight, and she was saying, you know, when the ones with no names talk about the people, quote-unquote, seeing, I begin to cry. And she had tears in her eyes, and we are hoping that she doesn't mind us saying so. And as she was speaking, what we were thinking in our spaces was that it is time for the people to see each other, essentially from a point of view that has no reference, no context, no belief system, but a fundamental consciousness that everything is light, regardless of what it looks like. So individually and collectively, you are refining your energy cores. Take a deep breath. This is a tool we can tune into. You ground your energy, you drink fluids, you keep your protein level constant, and rest and be with yourself in the way that you have never been with yourself before, and then yourself ceases to exist in a sense because it gets so much attention that it is satisfied and you can move into we-ness. The important process that we are undergoing as a fortified unit of consciousness in all dimensions is the consciousness of all time, because that is what this age is about. All of you coming together through all time to affect this monumental, pivotal span of consciousness that has ever been accomplished on this planet. We call it the fulfillment of 1,000,000 years of dreaming. The child within you remembers the design, the fundamental consciousness that knows the truth of all things, the truth of all being. So your consciousness will never be the same, because what you have been striving to create is the extension of your own potential. And in this time, your potential has its best opportunity to be actualized in all and of all time. You cannot go astray now, because the truth is louder than the dichotomy, and the union is more present than separation. We are telling you this because it is imperative for you to understand what's going on, so that as you are working through what you call your stuff, you can go forward in a way that allows you to synthesize very quickly. And because there are no parts within you that are resisting the process, you can fortify, integrate, and unify all aspects of your being so completely that there is no separation between your levels. Your mind, your emotion, your spirit, and your body dance together in the cells so that there is a vibrancy and an aliveness within you that you may have never felt before so consistently. And the beautiful thing about it is that you don't have to have any reason for feeling it. You can't say, I'm happy because of this or that. And it's very good, because all that's left is joy. And when you feel the joy, there's nothing else except knowledge, because knowledge is joy in action. So there's a synthesis going on multi-dimensionally. Everything that you have ever been solidifies with you. You get everything in this package. It's a deal, you see, because everything that you need is within you. You may not think it's in this particular character or personality or identity, but it is within the essence of your totality. And that's what we're all living in this new time, the essence of our totality, which is pretty big. We need to breathe into that one. So decide that nothing matters. No thing matters. And then, of course, as soon as you decide that, you know that everything matters, but it matters in a different way. Once you let it go, you have everything and you have nothing. That is the point of the God. So it's all one. But you are not attaching yourself to anything. There is nothing that you need. There is nothing that is sacred to you other than the essence of oneness. And so the false gods of the material and the things that are taking attention are placed in the position where you can hold them up to the light of truth, and they dissipate because they're not based on anything. So you're going to find out what's real and what isn't real, and that's very important because that's the foundation for this age that has been designed into every single soul on the planet. Everybody knows what's coming. Everybody. So what you can do is feel the oneness of light, of intellectual, spiritual, emotional, and physical bonding, so that none of your levels are in charge of any other levels. Your mind begins to come together with your heart, and your heart begins to come together with your soul, which catalyzes your memory so that you know where you are and what's happening. So refine yourself, and there will be less need for anybody else to use the chisel and hammer. Decide now. What I want is to live my destiny completely. Who I am is the fulfillment of my potential, and what I believe is light. I believe nothing else. I am only light, and that is all there is. And so it is. That really helped me. I hope it helps some of you ease your heart and the compassion that we are feeling for those directly affected from all the earthly disasters that are sort of coming back to back. But I have to say, it's pretty obvious, Uranus and Aries, it's a new day, and there's no turning back. So again, as I'm working on the Uranus and Aries free call, which we will eventually do, but that date is to be announced. It's not ready yet. As I went into the research, this cycle is so big, it's 84 years, so I needed to think a little deeper and harder to make it relevant to us as individuals so that we can work this 7-year stretch as consciously as possible. But the overview is, roll with the changes, do the best you can, because this is all just experimental, new beginning Aries. You've got to walk by faith. Aries energy is experiential. It's not outer directed. It operates from instinct. And Uranus is operating on instinct of what needs to be changed that we've already postponed too long, put off, and pushed aside because it was too hard to change it or whatever. Now it is time. It's just time. Even if we don't understand the method of how things are unfolding, it's still divine order, and I still trust it. Let's put it that way. So a lot of things, I started kind of playing with words, and I put down change versus stagnation, courage versus fear, assertive versus aggressive. Okay, there's a difference if you're being proactive or if you're trying to force your power over another, and even growth versus stagnation. So expand, consolidate. We want to grow and open and expand things, but we also want to pull back and tend to the roots periodically. And conscious action, we love that Aries instinctive action, but we need it to be conscious versus paralytic dread. Anything that paralyzes you with fear is obviously not productive. So self-preservation versus survival mode is a big one, but it's a state of mind at this moment because the things are so much bigger than us little humans. It is challenging to wrap your brain around it, and certainly on other days where lots of other things are churning within you, or you have issues, health issues or family issues or work issues or home issues going on that seem to be more important to tend to, your higher self is still very aware of all that is going on at one time, which is a lot. So we really can't do apathy anymore. This is one of those times in life where, again, if you don't disagree, people assume you agree. So if you don't cast your vote, then whatever you get is what you get because you didn't participate in the process. So I'm going to encourage you not to allow that paralytic fear to get you, because if you're stuck in fear mode, you're not being conscious, you're not making a decision, which is crucial, you're not operating from heart center, and you're not getting your vote in. And then you're going to be even more upset on the back end. So we really want to participate on some level, even if you don't know how to do that. For the highest good of all involved, let it be so. And you can do that and detach from having to define your terms because it is so much bigger than you. But it's a state that we're in right now. So it is time to sort of feel and respond instinctively. And I'm claiming ease and grace throughout, every moment. Ease and grace, not a crisis. We don't have to learn through crisis anymore. However, as a collective, this is where we're at. As a collective, we have put a lot of things off that won't be put off any longer because of evolution. So it's time to go to that new level. And yes, there is a lot of things going one way, but there's a lot of things going the other way. So we need to tune into wherever we can be most useful and be the cleanest instrument for spirit to operate in the 3D world. And we're walking by faith because we don't know. This is a brand new beginning. The horizon is wide open, And we're in a territory most of us have not been in before unless you're over 84 years. And there's even bigger cycles converging than that. And so it's big, but it's doable. We wouldn't be here if we didn't have a role to play. So then we come back down to human size and we breathe into our part, our piece, so we don't get overwhelmed and blow our circuits. And we recognize that everything up until now was preparing us for this moment. And so here in this moment, we want to be clear enough to make the choices that are in front of us, the things that we do have control over, okay? And that's another piece on the worry and dread part. I love Wayne Dyer for this. He gave me this years ago, and I've tried to live by it as best I can, and that is if you can control it, why worry? And if you cannot control it, why worry? You know, the animals aren't worried. They're scurrying, they're adjusting, they're adapting, but they're not worried. Worry is a human neurotic thing we made up, and it's not necessary. It delays all the good, and we want to kind of pull back into that serenity prayer and do what you can to understand what you can and cannot control and contribute where you can, and pull back and just hold light, hold energy, hold the space for those who are confused, who maybe don't have a language for it, who maybe feel the pressure but don't understand where it's coming from. And we've all been there periodically, but if we've already got some tools and practices in place, then we can get out of it a lot easier than those who do not have a belief system or a practice or something that helps them when they get stuck. And because of that, Aries, again, we're all on our own essentially. I mean, we're together, but we're on our own. So nobody's going to do it for you. And that's part of the postponement, is we gave away our authority and power to make these bigger decisions. And now, because the world is one, we each need to contribute to the decision-making process, which you can do with your consciousness. Even if you can't be part of the bigger machinations of the world and you don't feel powerful in that regard, you are powerful in your being, in your connection to spirit, in your connection to God, where you can center and say, I am an instrument of spirit, and I want to keep it clean, and I want to move in the light, and I'm going to hold this space for myself and others. It's the best we can do. And as an empath, that's my constant prayer and what I'm working on. So this week, how'd everybody do? You know, we talked last Friday on the 4th about the upcoming week, and on Wednesday we had the 9th wave of the Kalaman theory of the Mayan calendar. It's sort of the beginning of the end of the Mayan calendar. So we're in this space of evolution, and it is speeding up and gathering momentum, and Uranus at Aries today. So this is a lot all at one time. And this weekend we have the Gemini first quarter moon, which was really, really delicious guidance as well, which I put out in my mailing. So if you're not on the Karmic Tools mailing list, you might want to be, because that's a member goodie that I put out there for everybody, because it was just so important that we have as much guidance and tools as we could possibly have. It's very useful. I meant to have it up and running, and I'm pulling in right now, so bear with me. I have the 3/11/3/12 is the official day, but we get about 2.5, 3 days with the moon in a certain sign, so that's why I love that window of opportunity. So my note to all spoke on the Gemini first quarter should bring some clarity. You know, we've all been poked in the last week or two, as well as a renewal of ideas infused with your recently enlivened truth and purpose, okay? Because as we get stripped of the non-essential, as we release parts of ourselves that no longer matter, are no longer useful or relevant, you know, our truth and purpose emerges even brighter. And this week is remarkably fertile ground. So we want to cast as many seeds as you've gathered over time in all 6 directions, including above and below, and trust that which takes root in the coming weeks, months, and years, okay? Because, again, the small cycle is a month of Aries, but the large cycle is Uranus there for 7 years. Jupiter's going to be there for a couple of more months. It spent a total of a year, but it broke it up into parts. And so there's large and small Aries energy that we can tune into, but it is definitely a new day. And because Mercury rules Gemini, it is going to be in how you frame it mentally. However you define your terms is going to be really interesting. And right now, because Mercury moved into Aries on Wednesday, we're in the shadow period of the end of the month retrograde, okay? Don't forget, Mercury's going to go backwards at the end of the month in Aries. So this whole 3-week period essentially will get a review, so you will get a second chance. Now, that's not to say to squander. You know, you want to be conscious and moving in a forward to the best of your ability. But recognize the pieces where your intuition kind of taps you and says, oh, I have a feeling we're going to have to do this again, because that's probably the piece you're going to have to do again. Or, you're going to have to deepen the process somehow. You're going to have to fill in some blanks in a way that you were in, on a forward motion roll in a way that you just missed that one little piece, okay? So we want to keep that in mind, that Mercury is rather related to the moon this weekend. So how you think and how you feel is coming together, and we don't need one or the other dominating. We need them to work congruently, as the channeling mentioned. We want to connect our mind and heart our heart to our soul, and then our soul gives us the guidance. And believe me, as a human being, we have to settle that monkey mind down first, and then the heart opens. And even if you can do some stretches, like I found myself stretching my arms up over my head and holding my hands behind my back and opening my chest cavity way up, and I just got the memo that I'm opening my heart, not closing it in fear because it's so overwhelming that, so many lives are moving out at this point at the same time together. So bless them for being together. But opening your heart. Don't shut down behind this. That's not the answer. So do whatever you can, implement those practices. And Mercury is going to be the star of the show this week. It's going to ping several planets, and then we have one juicy piece of Venus at the 29th degree of Aquarius. At the end of the month, she moves into Pisces, and so the priority is going to be this unity consciousness and understanding that we all are one, and all we can do is operate from our individual being and hope and allow our contribution to go out and touch others in that way. So Mercury rules Gemini, and we'll also be activating several planets this week as it joins Jupiter in Aries. And what I put was activates the launch sequence. Okay, so we're in it. And so it's so deep how things are unfolding. But wait, Mercury is going to go retrograde in Aries too, so recognize that we're approaching shadow territory and proceed accordingly. Pay very close attention and do not allow petty distractions to cost you precious resources. Despite this, I still recommend you use this week's activations to set some intentions around the following, okay? Because Mercury meets Uranus in the final 29 degrees. That was, earlier in the week before it hit Aries. So it was a connection to the universal mind and a sort of download. So some people may have even been feeling the wave coming. And on the 13th, it meets with Pluto, so a responsibility for the power of your thoughts, the other reason to keep it clean and keep it in the light, because what you think manifests faster than ever these days. You've got to know that. On the 15th, Mercury is going to meet with Jupiter in an expansion of your ideas, thoughts, and concepts. And what's juicy about the 15th is everybody gets a 10-hour void of course that day. Remember, we talked about that a little bit last week. That's when the moon, your internal compass, doesn't make any contact with any other planets, so it allows you to keep your own counsel. It allows you to really commune within and with God and to get your message for going forward. And 10 hours is excessive. A normal void of course is anywhere from 5 minutes to 2 hours. So that day that it meets Jupiter is really, I'm getting the message that we need to expand our vision, not narrow it, okay? And then on the 18th, Mercury is going to meet with Saturn, which is an integration of your new ideas and your emerging reality. So it's expand, think bigger, but then come back to Saturn and consolidate and figure out how you can do it in 3D. So as of March 11th, today, Uranus joins the Aries party permanently and sits at 0 as it did May to August of 2010. What indications of a new day did you receive during that time? Okay, so last summer, big reset button was initiated. And today is the first day of the rest of your life, takes on a whole new meaning in this context. So the guidance we got was number 42, increase from the Tao Oracle, and it is sharing, reaping rewards, overflow, expansion, flowering, encouragement, fertile ground, and abundance. So if we can expand our mind and if we can think a little outside the box, because Uranus is way outside the box, let me tell you, it is important because that will help us move towards solutions. So those activations for this week coming up, the 11th to the 18th, we'll talk again on the 18th, but the full moon in Virgo is the 19th. So I want you to consider this, again, preparation for the upcoming full moon, which is also a supermoon, which means the alignment with Earth is more exact, and it's an exact supermoon. And what that means is it's really, really precise. okay? And that electromagnetic pull is all in alignment, so we can tune into that. Virgo's at the end. Remember, we've been working this whole 6-month process. The last time we had an exact supermoon was January 30th when we had the Leo full moon, and we released a lot of parts of ourselves that are no longer part of who we truly are. Leo is the self-love piece. We've really released a lot of that and broadened our vision so that we can love ourselves and go out and share life and this planet with other people. But the next exact one is not until 2016, and it's at the end of 2016 at that. It's a Taurus full moon, November 14th, 2016. So we have a good 5 years before we get this juice that's streaming in right now, okay? So rather than being overwhelmed by it, let's use it. Let's direct it. Let's channel it. Let's set an intention. Again, you might not be able to do anything physically, but you can set an intention for the energy and whatever it supports for the highest good of all involved. Again, just a very useful, broad prayer you can work with the whole time. So this week, as we align our thoughts, our thinking, we get our minds right, okay, recognizing that the Aries actions that Mercury might provoke us to take might require some do-overs by next month, because just keep in mind, Mercury is going to be in Aries until May 15th. So that's pretty long, and we have a lot to work with. So this is the warm-up for the full moon, and the full moon leads to the spring equinox. So we're going to have this big ending and a brand new beginning by next week, akin to the winter solstice piece. So again, you might want to review the winter solstice and the last quarter so that you are in a good place for spring equinox and initiating a brand spanking new year. So that's it. I know we went a long time here, but thank you for joining us. This is